Hey, what's up guys? This is Ian and welcome to another one of my videos. Right, today I'm gonna build my very first PC, gaming PC. So I'm gonna document this build so that you guys can learn from my mistakes. This is my first time. I'm just an average consumer. I've never built a PC before, and I'm gonna attempt to build this PC myself and show you guys, what are the mistakes that a normal person will do, and yeah, and what you can learn from it. Right, so before I begin, I hope you guys can give me a thumbs up for this video and subscribe to my channel so that you guys get notified of my future videos. Right, so for this gaming PC build, I am pairing up a B450 Tomahawks Max. This is in my previous unboxing video of this motherboard. You can see in the description down below the link for this unboxing. And I'm going to pair up with this Ryzen 5 3rd gen CPU from AMD. Right? I didn't do an unboxing for this, so basically you can see the unboxing here in this video. So this is the AMD Ryzen 5, and it's a 3600, sorry, right, 3600, and it's a very good CPU and bang for the buck kind of a CPU. Yeah, so this is the CPU I'm going to pair with this motherboard, and then I got myself 512 gigabyte RGB M.2 that's a long thing to say, yeah, M.2 PCIe SSD. All right, so yeah, there's a mouthful there, and this is a very good M.2 SSD, and it's got the read and write speed up to, the write is up to 3000 megabytes per second, and the read is up to 3,500 megabytes per second. All right, so, and it's RGB. All right, so it's pretty good. Yeah, and then for the RAM, I'm going with a pair of 8 gigs of RAM. This is from XPG, and this is the Spectrix D50 RAM. So 8 gigs times 2, which is 16 gigs in total of RAM. And this is 3002, it's a DDR4, and I'm not sure where, yeah, there you go, it's a 3002 megahertz, and I'm sure you can OC overclock this RAM, but I'm not too sure how to do that, but basically, yeah, this is the RAM itself. Right, so let's put these one side and take the motherboard out from the box, and then leave it on the box itself. Okay, but before that, I'm just gonna take my stuff out. Okay, so this is the PCIe cable that you need, and then you got the IO shield, and then yeah, that's about it. You don't need to take the rest out. I'm just gonna put this one side so that, one very important screw that you need to take out is the M.2 screw. That this will secure your SSD onto the motherboard itself. Okay, so let's close this box. Right, and then take the motherboard out from the plastic. All right, and try not to touch any of the parts. Right, you can touch the this metal part here, but try not to touch the any of the circuitry. Right, so just put it on the motherboard, put it one side. Okay, so let's put this the right side up. Right, so first thing I want to do is to put the CPU Okay, let's mount the CPU, stick it out. I'm gonna take it out off camera. Okay. Right, so right, there you go. So this is the CPU. Right, so it comes with some write-up. I'm not gonna read those. And it's got a Ryzen sticker on it, and then there you go, Ryzen 5 3600. So let's open this up. Alright, so just hold it on the sides, alright, and try not to touch any of the pins. And over here you will see the golden triangle right here. Focus. Okay, so this golden triangle should correspond. Let me just zoom in a little bit so that you guys can see. Okay. Right, so this is the triangle that you want to pair up with. Right, so let's turn it around to the side. So what I like to do is that I like to flip it around, so when the triangle is on this end, when I flip it over, it's on the other end. So what you want to do is to open up the lever. Okay. Right. And then, so your CPU turns around, and then what you want to do is just drop it into its position. Don't use any force, just let it go and just move it around. Okay, make sure it's seated in the slot itself. Then you can push the lever down and then lock it in position. Alright, so that's it. That's how easy it is. Alright, so that's how easy it is. Alright, so the next thing I'm gonna do is to install the CPU fan. Right, so this is the stock fan that comes with the CPU itself. There's some stuff in there, so I'm just gonna open this up. I'll try not to open this up over the motherboard so that I don't drop it. So I hope you guys don't mind. So there you go. This is how the CPU fan looks like. And then I'm just gonna flip it around. This is the top of it. All right, I'm gonna take the cover off, and then right. So as you can see, it comes with the heatsink has the thermal paste on it already, so you don't need to apply any thermal paste. Right, so, and this is the power supply to the fan itself. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this one side first because there's one thing I need to do, and that is to remove these brackets. I'm just gonna zoom in again. Right, and just readjust you guys a bit like this. Okay, so I'm just gonna remove these brackets because these standoffs are actually for the older versions of the CPU, and the newer ones, which is the this version 3, it comes with its own screw mounts, so you don't actually need. Yeah, so the screw is too small. Let's try a bigger one. Alright, so try not to use any force. You know, if it doesn't come out, try another screw, another head. Okay. Let's see if I have a bigger one. Okay, so I've got myself a bigger screwdriver, and then try to unscrew this. This is really tight. Wow. Okay. And when you're screwing or unscrewing anything, try not to unscrew all the way, and then try to have a container with you so that you can save all your screws. Okay, so that you don't lose them. You know, maybe a bowl or a cup, so that you can see what is inside that container. Okay, so I'm just unscrewing all these screws from the post. So let's take this out. Right, so this is out. Here, put it inside, and guys, this is my very first time building a PC, so if I make any mistakes, please don't be too critical. Okay, so now we are ready to mount the fan, but before I do that, I want to clean the CPU a little bit, just to clean off the surface of the CPU with a wet wipe, alcohol wipe, to remove any of my fingerprints or any oil that was left behind by my fingers. And then yeah, maybe get a tissue or dry tissue to wipe off the whatever residue was there. And just make sure it's clean, not too hard. Okay, and then now we are ready to put the CPU. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit. I mean the fan itself. So I think if you look at the post of the screws, it's either going to go this way, whereby the AMD is going to face this side, or it's going to go this way. So I think I want the AMD logo to be facing this side, so that, you know, it doesn't block the RAM. Okay, so I'm just going to carefully place this in position. Right, so now it's in position. So I'm just going to take my screwdriver and I'm going to gently screw each side in. But before you go clockwise, go a bit of anti-clockwise so that the screw sits in. Alright, so I'm just going to gently, okay, you can hear the clicks. Right, and then try to do the opposite side. Always go on the opposite side. Okay. And slowly screw the four sides in. And then now you can tighten all the four corners now that they are in. Side didn't go in, so I'm just going to unscrew the side, loosen up a little bit. So you just got to make sure that all the four corners goes in before you tighten all the corners or the four sides. Okay. Alright, so this two side has gone in. Make sure the other two side goes in. So as I mentioned, guys, this is my first time building this CPU. So once the four corners have all gone in, then you can start to tighten up. Okay, right, so now that your fan is in, don't worry about this. Now you can plug in the cable to this part here that mentions CPU fan. Okay, I'm just gonna bring it just a little bit closer here. But it's being blocked. But yeah, so it's right here. Okay, so these four pins here. I'm just gonna plug it in. It goes in one way, so don't need to worry. There's a clip. So I'm just gonna gently plug it in. Try not to bend any pins. There you go. Tidy up the cable a little bit. There you go. So voila, we've installed the fan, all right, the heat sink, and so what's next? Yeah, all right. So let's install the RAM itself. Okay, so let's turn the motherboard around, right? Zoom in a little bit. Okay. Right, so this is the RAM. Okay, let's unbox this. It's a very simple unboxing. Let's open this up. Take the RAM out. Oh, look at that. So it's a beauty. Let's take it out from the box. Okay, so for RAMs, basically there's two rows of connectors here, and if you look at your motherboard, you have the shorter row here, and well, this is the longer row and this is the shorter row. Focus. Okay, so this is the longer row, this is the shorter one. So we just need to line it up with the motherboard here. Okay, so the motherboard also have a shorter row and a longer row, and on the motherboard itself, basically it does have some instructions to show you which can you focus? Yeah, which slots to go for. So on this motherboard, on the Tomahawk, it mentions to go DIMM 2. Let's see, yeah, 2 and 4. If you look, yeah, 2 and 4 from the top down. Okay, so I'm just gonna open up the catch, and then take my RAM, and then just go for it. Just gonna go for it. Right, so make sure the shorter end is on the side and is corresponding to the motherboard itself. Okay, and all you need to do is just press it in and it will just clip into place. Okay, so take your next piece of RAM and do the same. So make sure it goes into the slot. Okay, and then push it in and until you hear a click. There you go, guys. It's that simple on how to install RAM. And I've never installed a RAM before. This is my first time, yeah? So you guys should know how nervous I am. But I did it. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna install is my SSD. So let's unbox this SSD. Not coming up. So let's take it up from the box. And ooh, look how tiny it is. It's so tiny. Wow. Look at that. It's so small. And it's got, let me just focus on this. Alright, so it's not focusing, but yeah. So there you go. It's so tiny, guys. And it's got a heatsink on it. I guess it's a piece of heatsink with RGB on it, but yeah, it's so small. Okay, so now we're gonna locate the SSD slot on the motherboard. So let's move my motherboard into focus, and it's right here. Okay, so this is the slot for the SSD, and as you can see, the SSD goes in right here, and the standoff, you need to screw right here. So you need to remove this standoff and move it here, okay, so that your SSD can be secured, right? So let's do that. Let's put my SSD one side, and then take my screwdriver. All right, and then I'm just gonna loosen this standoff, just so that I can remove it. Okay, so it's loosened. I can just use my fingers, and then now that it's out from this slot, I'm gonna move it down here. All right. Oh my god, these screws are so small. Wow. I have fat fingers. Look at those fat fingers. Okay, so I've moved it down, so I'm gonna tighten it. And try to be careful, you know, with your screws. Try not to damage your motherboard. Right, so the screws, the standoff is right in. So now I'm gonna take my SSD, and then I'm just gonna slot it right here. Okay, just push it in until you hear a click. Well, not really a click, but it just slides in. And then this is when you're gonna take the screw that came with the motherboard, and this is the M.2 screw, and use it. Okay, so try not to lose it because it's really small. Really small. Look at that. And I lost it. Wow. No, I didn't. Just joking. So yeah, there you go. Focus. Yeah. So let me change my tool. I'm just gonna change to a Phillips. Yeah, a very small Phillips. Okay. And then yeah, there you go. And then I'm gonna place it magnetically onto my screwdriver. Right. And then, oh man, this is so small. Okay. Right, and then I'm just gonna try really hard to focus because the screw is just so small. I don't know how these guys build a PC, because it's really hard to focus. I think my screwdriver is a little bit too big for this. I need a smaller one. So I'm just gonna change to a smaller one. Yeah. So maybe a smaller head would fit. Oh yeah, this fits. This fits. Okay, so that's much better. So I hope my fingers are not blocking, or my hand is not blocking, but I am screwing in the SSD using my left hand, because my right hand is blocking the. Okay, and there you go, guys. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to getting the case ready, and we're gonna put the motherboard into the case. So let's open this up. Just a few simple screws. It's a thumb nut, so you don't really need to unscrew everything. And yeah, it's pretty simple. And then once it's loosened, you then can use your thumb to open this up. Okay, and this unfortunately is acrylic. Okay, it's just a piece of acrylic, which I'm quite disappointed with it. You know, I thought it would be glass, but it's not glass. But it's okay. Let's just put this one side. And the screws, don't lose the screws. Okay. And let's take a look inside. So inside here, it's got some. What's this? A piece of shield and some screws. Okay, and then you've got all your connectors, which we can route. Okay, let's open the back side where we're going to run the cables. So let's unscrew this side. Okay, let's put this one side, this one as well. So now we can open up the back cover of this, and then put this one side as well. So you can see the internal back of this case. Basically, you can run this. All these runs to the motherboard itself, so we can, you know, decide how we're gonna put this later. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, so the case already has standoffs right here, and what you need to do now is to decide what size of the motherboard. So you've got A is for ATX, and then M for micro ATX, and then I for the mini ITA. Okay, so yeah, let's bring the motherboard over and try to size it up, see if the standoffs are in the right position. Okay, alright, so motherboard is right here. So I would handle the motherboard using just the fan. Okay, just holding on to the fan and try not to touch the internals. See if the fan is in position, it's tightened. Hope it's tight enough. I might just tighten this a little bit, because maybe I didn't tighten it enough. Just make sure it's tight. This is tight. Okay, so this is tight. So let's see if this standoff meets the motherboard itself. So yeah, so the standoffs are right there in position. The only one that is not in position, in fact, these standoffs right here. So I need to shift them out. And then on this side, I'm just going to come around this side so that I can see. Okay, so I'm just going to find a few more standoffs and move them out. Okay, so let's put my motherboard one side and then remove these standoffs to move them out here. So what do I need? I need a plier. So let's get a plier. Okay, so I have my pliers here. Just gonna they are pretty tight, so just gonna try to turn this. So pliers didn't work, so it's pretty tight. Just gonna try to turn it. Whoa. Oh, there you go. Okay. Let's put it. I may be using the wrong tool for this, but you know, I'm not a professional builder of computers, so I'll just make use of what I have. And I'm sure you guys will face this problem as well, because you know, you don't have all the necessary tools because you're just building your PC at home. Okay, so I got one out, right? So I'm gonna put it in the correct position. Okay, so I'm taking this one out and I'm gonna move it to the outer slot, hole, whatever. Okay, and then I'm gonna tighten it. I'm not sure if you guys can see, but yeah, maybe I turn it this way. And then I might want to stand on this side so I have a better grip. Let's put my motherboard one side while I'm doing this so that, you know, I don't accidentally knock onto it, you know. Okay, let's tighten this. I may be using the wrong tools for this, guys, so if you guys know what kind of tools I should have, maybe you guys can let me know. Okay, so I've got that one done, so now I'm down to this one. Let's try it again, see if the motherboard sits in the right position of the standoff. Okay. So just slot it in. Let's see. so that fits there. That goes there. That one goes there. Right, so yeah, we have all the positions there. Now that the standoffs are in position, we can put the IO shield in. Okay, so let's open this up. Right, and then obviously the label faces up. All right, and then try to put it in position so that you can hear a click sound. Snap, not click, I guess. It should have a snap. Whoa, there you go. Oh, finally, it's in, it's secure, and doesn't come out. Oh, thank God, thank God. All right, so that's done. And now we can put the motherboard in there. So let's take my motherboard with the ports facing the right side. Right? And then slowly move it in and line the ports up with the IO shield. Make sure it's in position and done. Okay, so let's put the screws. So I'm just gonna take the screws out that was provided by the case itself. Oh, they even provided more standoffs. So try not to lose the screws. I don't think you need all the screws here, but you know, and there are many types of screws here, so I'm not too sure which one to use. Go a little bit closer. Yeah, so I'm just gonna guess it's this one. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with it. So I'm gonna get my screwdriver and then slowly, gently screw in one by one. One tip, try to get a screwdriver that has got a magnetic tip, because then you won't drop your screws. There you go. So I dropped 2 screws, and again, you know, you guys can see the mistakes that I'm making so that you guys won't make that same mistake. I cannot go in there with my fat fingers. It's so narrow. because I want to put my screw right in there. But let's try this one. This one has got a magnetic tip. Yeah. Oh, oops. Again, try not to drop the screws onto your motherboard. You might damage them. No, that's the wrong screw. So I think I dropped in the wrong screw. Try not to strip the threads of the holes, because if you strip it, then you won't be able to use that hole anymore, and you can't use the standoff. But fortunately, the case came with a few extra standoffs, so I have not to worry on that. And I need something that's magnetic, so I might grab a magnet. And then, oh, that's one tip and trick here. So just grab a magnet. Any magnet will do, right? I have a magnet here. And stick it onto your, maybe I'll use a smaller one. I'll grab a smaller magnet. Okay, so magnet, screwdriver, and then just reach for your screws, and voila, get the screw out. So this time I'm gonna put in the right screw. It's got some kind of helmet. I don't know what kind of screw this is, but yeah. So now my screwdriver is magnetic, and I can gently put my screw right in there and then tighten it. And try not to drop your magnet in there. And take it out once your screw is in position. And then you can tighten your screw gently. Okay. Then stick the next screw. I think it's this one. Now it's sticking to the case. There you go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws. It's all in. There you go. Your motherboard is in position. Okay, so now, oh, one thing I forgot to take out is this tape. Slowly pull it out. Oh, satisfying. Right, done. Right, so let's just put it up. Okay, so now we move on to the power supply. Okay, so now that the motherboard is in there, it's time to put in my power supply, and I've unboxed this power supply, so you can watch the unboxing video of this in the description down below. Okay, so let's take this out. So let's decide how you want this power supply to go. I'm just gonna gently place this case facing down, because now the motherboard is in there, so you don't want to bang this around. So I'm probably gonna put it this side down, because the fan should be facing downwards. So let's just try. Okay. Okay, yeah. So it should go in like that. Okay, and there is a hole at the bottom here. I don't think I can show you guys, but there is a hole at the bottom here that allows air to be expelled, I guess. Okay, so let's take the bag of where's the bag of screws that came with the power supply? So this bag of screws came with the power supply, and then I'm just gonna line up the holes if I can find it. Oh, there you go. I might need to put this right side up so that, you know, it's easier for me to do. So yeah, the holes are not lining up, but I can see 4 and 3. Okay, so right, yeah, hope you guys can see. But yeah, it's not easy filming a PC setup, but okay, let's take the screws out. Take your screwdriver, and then screw them in one by one. Right. Let's try the other corner right here. Okay, so just gonna line it up, I guess. There we go. Then screw it in. Okay. And this side. Screw it in. And if you think you might risk the possibility of damaging the threads, don't use force, okay? Just gently try and screw it in, and if you feel too much of a resistance, try to unscrew it again, and then yeah, reposition your screw. That way you won't damage the threads. Right, so power supply's in. For the graphic card, I got this GTX Zotac GTX 1660 Super. Okay, so it's a very cheap graphic card with a good performance. Right, so let's put the graphic card first so that we can do some cabling later. So see where's, there you go, look at that. Right, so graphic card is pretty simple. Again, there are some connectors here, and if you look at your PCIe connector here, you can see there is a smaller slot here and a bigger slot here, but you know, basically it goes in this way because your IO shield is here and your connections are here. So definitely you have to go this way, right, this way in. And if you look at the position of the card, it goes in here, so you need to remove one of the slots here. So I'm just gonna unscrew this with my screwdriver. bend. That's the thing about this type of case. So once you bend it, it's broken and you cannot replace it. But fortunately, they gave me a spare shield here. So yeah, so in future, if I don't want to use this slot, I have that option. Okay, so what you want to do now is gently drop your GPU, graphic card, into that slot. Okay, carefully aligning it, and then once you're comfortable, before you push it in, make sure your connectors are open. I might want to open up another slot here because it's blocking the graphic card itself. So I'm gonna break one more piece out. Okay, so there you go. Simple enough, right? So then I'm gonna line it up again, and then this time I'll click it in. It clicks in. Doesn't seem to be clicking in. See if it's open. Yeah, it's open. Let's try it again. Oh, there you go. That's the click that I want to hear. Okay, so once that is in, you want to put your shield back gently. Right. Come on, go in. So once that goes in, and then put your screw. I think before I do that, I might want to put a screw right on the graphic card so that it doesn't move around. So let's move this aside again. Man, why did they make it so hard to remove this? Okay, so I've got a screw from the case itself, and this should be the screw that goes right in there. I think, no, it's not. So let's try another screw. Not too sure which one. Let's try this one with the helmet kind of top. I don't know what they call it, but let's try if that screw works. And surprisingly, yes, it works. So that screw goes in. I think let's use a small screwdriver. But the thing is, it doesn't tighten up, so it may not be the right screw. Let's try another screw. Let's try another screw. Maybe this one without the helmet tip. See, I don't know why they have so many different types of screws, but it is what it is, and you gotta just need to trial and error. Just try it, and if you get it, good for you. But if you don't, then you just gotta keep trying until you get the right one. This one doesn't seem to want to go in. Let's see if it works. Oh man, I don't know what to do with this. it should go in easily, I guess. It shouldn't be that hard, but it is very hard. So it does mean that it's the wrong one. It's the wrong screw if it's hard. This one is pretty simple, so just gonna try this one. Oh, so it turns out, yes, it is this one. I'm gonna show you in a minute, which is this one. It took me quite a while to find out that this is the screw that screws the graphic card onto the case itself on the back side of the I/O of the connection, I guess. Okay, so it's not as simple as you think, as how Linus make it sound looks simple, but it's not. Trust me, for a first timer, it's not simple to build a case, to do the case itself. It's pretty tight. And you know what? Maybe I should have screwed the shield in before I screw the screw in. See? Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna take this out and try it again. And this time it goes in easily. And now screw this in. Alright, done. So now we're gonna move on to, put in the wire and do the wiring. Okay, so now that we have the motherboard and the graphic card in position, we're gonna do some cabling. And these cables here is for the PC case itself. And you've got the USB 3.0, and then you have your audio, and then the USB, the normal USB. And then over here you have all the switches, the cables for the switches, and the LED indication. So you've got the power switch, the reset switch, and then the LEDs for power, plus minus, and the HDD. Okay, so first what I want to do is to locate the where the ports are. So from what I see, let's take a torch. I'm not sure if you can see. So USB is right there, and then the switches are right here. So I'm not too sure what switches go where. So yeah, this, oh man, so small, how do you even read this? You have USB 1 and USB 2 and then USB 3. So you have the LED plus and minus for the power, which is the JP1, and then you got the JCI1. I don't know, I gotta read my manual on this. So let's read the manual. I'm gonna take out my trusty manual for the motherboard, and this is indicating that this is where I should be connecting all these connectors. Okay, which is this one right here. So it's just down here. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna route my cable so that it comes out here. So let's push it to the back of the case. So not too sure if you guys can see, but you know, there's a gap behind, so I can push my cables out to the back here. And then I think over here there's a gap, a small little gap for me to route my cable out into the front. So I'm just gonna do this. I think audio is gonna go here. Alright. I think I should take my power brick out so that I can route my cables. So I think let's do that so that it's easier for me to route my cables. I'm just gonna put it on this one side. Alright. Okay, so as a newbie, I shouldn't have installed my PSU before I route my cables. I should have waited. In fact, connect my cables to my PSU before I even install my PSU into position. So there you go, guys. Okay, so once that is out, let's move this out of the way. Okay, yeah, I'll come back to this later. Alright, put the screws one side in the box or something so that you don't lose it. So now I can route my cable. So I'm just gonna route my cable here. And then this one is USB 3, so it should come out here. And these are the switches, so it should come out here. Okay, so I'm gonna flip it over and try not to let the cables drop back in, so just hold it together. Alright, hope you guys can see. So yeah, so this is my USB 3. So referring to my manual, USB 3 should be let's see, should be somewhere around here. Let's see, there you go. So USB 3 is this slot right here. So I'm gonna put this cable over here. Okay. Alright, so that went in. Alright, so I'm gonna pull the cable out a little bit so that it's not dangling out there. Okay, and then the next one is the audio. So audio, the H audio goes here, which is the AUD1, which is right to the far left. So I'm gonna go to this side, and the HAUD is gonna go this side. And just gonna plug it in with the correct direction. Try not to bend your pins. Okay. maybe I should go this side so I can see better. And bring my trusty light in here so I can see. Okay, so oh damn, let's put it here. Oh, right, I heard a click. Then USB, my USB 2. So let's look for the USB 2. So the USB 2, USB 1. Oh, right. So it goes there. Okay, so USB 1. Just right here. Okay. Oh man. Try not to break any pins, because if you do break just one pin, that's it. Okay. Alright, so that's done. And now this is the hard part, which is, let's see. So this is where the JFP1, so just refer to JFP1, which is this one. This is JFP1, which is the front panel connectors. So you have your hard disk LED, your power LED, and just follow the diagram and then, you know, put the pins in accordingly. So I'm going to try to attempt there and hope for the best. HDD plus one plus minus. HDD plus minus. Okay. So should go this way, I guess. Right, so can't really see. Get the manual out. So plus should be on this side. Oh, right. Okay, so plus should be on this side. Plus, minus. Okay, and then the reset plus minus. Wow, this is daunting, really, seriously. So I might pull it out, see, get the sequence right before I even attempt to. Okay, so you have the hard disk plus minus, and then you have your reset switch, which is minus plus, and then you have what's this? I can't even read this. Power LED plus minus. Why are they not in the right? Okay, so I think it should be like this. They should be bunched up like this, I guess. Power switch. And alright, so power switch plus minus. How do I know which is plus and which is minus? I've got no idea. The LED plus minus, and then you've got your power switch, plus minus. Alright, so I'm gonna try to plug all this in and hope for the best. And again, try not to bend any pins. Oh. Where's my reset? You know what? I'm gonna separate, make it a little bit more disconnected so I can see them. No, I cannot do this. I cannot do it without separating the cables. Right, so let's start again. Hard disk. Right, let's do this one by one so that we don't mess up. Okay, so I've got the hard disk one in, I think. The problem is it doesn't have a click, so I don't know if it went in all the way, but I'm just assuming. And then you have your reset switch, which is plus minus. I don't know whichever way it's gonna go in, but let's just try my luck. It should be facing down. All of them should be facing down, I guess. That time I heard a click. And then we have our power LEDs, which is plus and minus. So which one is plus and which is minus? Oh, okay, so it's got the color on it, so try to put that in. Okay, I've got the power LEDs in, and the last one to go in is the power switch. So I'm gonna try to get that one in. Okay, so as a first timer, this is really daunting. It's really hard. Done. Wow. Okay, so just to show you guys, not sure if you guys can see. Oh man. Okay, so I'm just gonna zoom in a little bit. Okay, so yeah. So if you can see the switches right here. These are the switches that I connected earlier. Okay, so yeah. Okay, the case is heavy, so right. So I've got the USB 3 connected. I've got the audio connected. Yeah. So now is to organize the cables a little bit. Pull this out just a little bit, and then I can, you know, organize these cables a little bit later. You know, I'm just gonna leave it hanging here. So now that's done. Let's try to connect the power cables. So I'm just gonna zoom out a little bit. Okay. And I'm gonna take my power cables out. So just open the bag, and you've got your all the different cables. So this PSU right here is a fully modular PSU, so I don't need to connect all the cables, but yeah, so this right here is the 24 pin, I guess. I think. I don't know what I'm doing, honestly. So what I'm going to do is that I'm gonna try to match it up with the motherboard itself. So I'm assuming that it's let's just adjust a little bit. I'm assuming it's gonna be this one right here. So this, and then just open it up a little bit. Okay, come on, go in. Is it in? I think so. No, it's not in because there's a clip here. There's a clip here, and I'm not sure if it went in or not. Should I unclip it or what? Should it? Bring in my light. It should be in. And it's tight. So if it's tight, it should be in. And then I'm gonna route this cable out this way. Bring it out this way. So, I know this is not good. I cannot see where the cables are. Oh man, I'm afraid of cables, to be honest. I'm just afraid that it might snap or do something, and that will be the end of my PC build. But no worries, we can do this. Okay, so just need to get it out. Wow, this cable is so tight. Why don't I bring it out here instead of up there? Good idea, Ian. So let's just do that. Let's bring it out again. It's not coming out. And if it doesn't come out, don't force it because you might break something. So, okay, so I'm gonna bring it out here. Right. Right, so let's just leave it there first. And then, okay, so based on logic, my motherboard needs power. Okay, so I have that. Now I need power to my my CPU, I guess. So which cable is for my CPU? So 4 plus 4, that's a 4 plus 6. So I think I remember this. This is actually for my graphic card, I think. 4 plus 2, or 6 plus 2. This is PCI. Okay, so I think this is for my, yeah, this should be for my graphic card, I think. It's got this thing that disconnects, I guess. I don't know. I'm just assuming that this is for my graphic card. So just gonna connect to that. But where should I route it out to so that it doesn't block anything? Well, let's decide later. I don't know where it should go. I might route it out here. Okay, so that's it for the, zoom out a little bit. So that's it for the graphic card. And now this is what is this? My God. Focus. What is this? I think that this should be for the power to the CPU, I think. It should only go one way, I guess. See if it works. And you have two sides to it, so let's not get the, this one has got a notch and this one doesn't, so let's try this one. Okay, so that goes in. And then the rest is just, I don't know, it's a bunch of cables which I don't know where it goes to, but you know, we can figure that out later. So now that I have my cables in, let's try to pull this out, see if it comes out. Oh, it does. So doesn't look right. This end just doesn't look right. But you know, it went in, so should be alright, should be fine. So I'm gonna route this cable out there, through there. I'm gonna lift up my case so that I can route my cable. Okay, so that's settled. Oh, what am I going to do with this one that's sticking out? What can I do with it? Right, so let's try to let's see. Let's try to put this right in there. I don't have cable ties, so I might just use this existing one and try to tie it together so that it doesn't flip out. And I'll get a proper cable tie in good time. You know. Okay, so that's done. Now is the time to connect it to the PSU. So I'm gonna get my PSU here. So now, so this one goes to, it's pretty simple, this is the biggest one, so I'm just gonna connect to that one, which is the ATX 18 pin. This one should be the ATX 10. So let's try to. Okay, so that went in. There we go. Then this one should be the CPU. So it could be any one of these. Okay, so I'm just gonna connect. No. Right, so this doesn't go in there. That's why I think I connected something wrong. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna unplug this one from here. Okay, and then flip the other one around. So I'm sorry guys, you know, this is really daunting for me, so I'm making mistakes here and there. Okay, so this one should come out here. Okay, so right, so this one comes out here and it should go in right here. Right. Okay, so now next is my graphic card, so I'm just gonna put it next to it, I guess. Okay, so once all these are connected, I can then put my PSU back into its rightful position, and I'm gonna try my best to put it in the position. Oh. And it doesn't want to go in. All right, it's going in. I think my cable is being crushed. Oh man, what's wrong with this cable? It's not coming out right. Okay, so let's try to put it in. Right, so I got my PSU in, and now it's time for me to screw it into position. Right. Let's try to get it in position. Okay, so now it's in position. And come on, get into position. Right, screw. Screw that just a little bit so that it's holding its position with my other 3 screws. So that one is not going into position. I don't know why. Okay. Wow. I think the cable is pushing it somewhere. Okay, so let's push it up. Problem is, this side is not going in. Let's try this one. So one more screw. Okay, the last one. Come on. Get the last screw out. Screw it in. Right. Done. This one. Done. Okay. Right, so that's done, right? Right, so that's it, guys. I mean, I've installed my cables, I guess, right? And what else did I miss out anything? I guess not. I don't have a hard disk or any SSD 2.5, any mechanical hard disk or anything like that, so I guess I'm fine. But now I will need to install my fans. Yeah, so let's get into that. So alright guys, now I'm gonna install my fans. So I have in total 6 fans to install. So these fans are RGB fans, and the side where the LED is the intake, and this is the exhaust. So yeah, so let's do the back fan. By the way, I've removed the front panel so that I can install my fan. So yeah, so this one should be facing this side so that I can route the cable out later. And then I'll put my fan here, and then put in my screws. Okay, so it's not easy trying to put in a screw with your left hand, so I'm just gonna flip it around and use my right hand because I'm a right-hander. So okay, screw in. Okay, so just put it in position first. Don't need to screw all the way in. Where's the magnet? My trusty magnet so that my screw don't drop out. Okay, done. For some reason, these screws are really tight, so try not to strip the screw, because once you strip it, then you're going to have a problem dismantling it later. Okay, so I've got one fan in, and I'm going to install the rest of the fans and then show it to you guys. Right, so I'm going to fast forward so that you guys don't get bored. Okay, so I've installed the top two fans and the back fan, and now I'm going to install the front fans. so. Okay. All right, so we're done. Okay, so I'm gonna put my dust cover back on, and now I'll need to connect these together. Okay, so I'm gonna connect the 3 back ones together, so I've got this cable that comes out from the PSU. Okay, so, and this part here I assume connects to the motherboard. Yeah, this one goes to the motherboard. So let's refer back to my trusty manual. And CPU fan is, let's see, how many CPU fans do I have on my motherboard? So I have system fan, oh no, sorry, not the CPU fan, the system fan, and that is roughly there. Wow. But I have another system fan right here, which is on this side. I have another one here. And that's it. So I think I would just connect it to this one, which is next to the power connectors. Okay, so let's route this out here. I'm not sure if this you guys can see. I'm just gonna connect it right here. It goes in one way, like so. Okay, and that's it. So what I'll do is now connect all my fans together and create a daisy chain. These are so hard to go in. Man, is that how it doesn't go all the way in? I don't know. So I've got 3 here, so just gonna connect it together. Really? It doesn't go all the way in? It should. Doesn't look like it, but okay, so yeah. So I've got this one connect. Actually, I've got 3. Don't know why. Yeah. So that one goes there. This one goes here. Well, and just to, I guess, complete the circuit, I'm just gonna disconnect one of these out. and just, you know, connect to this one like this. Okay, so I know it's a mess. Okay, it's a mess, but promise you, I will clean this up. Okay, but for now, I'm just gonna close this back up. Okay, I'm gonna close this back up and try to power up the CPU. Okay, if I can find the cover. Okay, so let's close this back up like so. My cables are too messy, I guess, and I'm not able to close it. Okay, let's try it again. Right, so that's closed. Now let's screw it in. If I can find the screw. So that's the reason why you need to keep all your screws in one place. Okay. So I think this should be this one right here. Okay, and there you go, guys. There you go. This is how you set up build a PC, and this is how I do it. And this is my first time building a PC. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna fire this bad boy up and yeah, and show you guys. Alright guys, so as you can see, I have already set up everything is in place. So now it's time to power it up and see how it looks. Moment of truth, power button. And there you go, guys. That's how you set up a PC. That's how it looks like. So I have in total 6 RGB fans, and I really love this XPG RAMs, and also the XPG M.2 SSD. Alright guys, so this is my journey on building my own PC, and I've done it. So yeah, here it is. So I hope you guys enjoyed my video. It's a bit lengthy, but yeah, finally I did it. Okay, so I hope you guys can give me a thumbs up, you know, subscribe to my channel, and yeah, and hope to see you guys in my next video. Cheers.